see. It says we're using the right kind of audio. Would you care for a microphone?
Thank you.
Care for a microphone?
I
Mic
would
check.
I would love one.
Mic check.
Mic check.
1 2 1
1
2.
2 1 2.
Sibilance. Sibilance. Hello, doggy. Hello. Happy New Year. Thank you. Happy New Year, sissy.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Daisy.
Happy New Year. My goodness. Do you have an itchy face? So you're all engaged now.
All engaged. Yes, ma'am.
You made a lovely social media post about how good you're feeling about being engaged and the way that it happened. And I was in love with the way that you wrote about that.
I knew you would get it.
Yeah.
You know.
I really liked the way you talked about how you were so sure what you wanted. Right? And what you didn't want.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. And I giggle at that because I proved myself wrong over and over again all the time about the things
even
I'm
with
sure
this,
about, but,
right?
I was actually just thinking yesterday or the day before that I was like, the next time that I sit down with Em, I need to talk about how the more I learn in terms of experience and age and education, the less I believe I know. And then I was like, I think somebody famous said something like that. Like, I don't know what that quote is, but
the more
I think
know,
that's somewhere out
the
there.
more you learn, the less you know.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
And it's the same as to like how sure I am about what I want for this or that, or where I'm gonna be in this time. And yeah, so it kind of makes me giggle a bit, but it is relevant there because I was talking about for those of you who aren't connected to me, I was talking about how different my life is now compared to what it was when I was married, and I got divorced in 2019, so right before the pandemic, after
the whole world changed.
7 years or something like that. I think we were coming up on an 8-year anniversary, and that was a relationship that I did not expect to end. So it was blindsiding, and that whole world shifted, and then right after that, COVID happened, and the rest of the world shifted, and everything was kind of on its head.
Our kids were seniors in high school.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And everything
they had a completely different relationship with their friends in school and the world around them, and we went through a lot of changes too because I moved out of the place in Hamden and we moved to Bangor, because there was more available housing and affordable housing out this way, and it was good for all of us. But I know that their experiences, I don't want to speak for their experiences, but it was important for me to go through all of the different things that I went through. But it was difficult too because I was really, really convinced that I didn't want to be married again. I was convinced that I didn't want a committed relationship in a traditional sense. I didn't want to live with another person. I didn't want any of those things because I was just in a different life. And so
none of it made sense.
None of it made sense to me. And it all seemed like all the ways that I put myself last. And I spent every moment of my adult years to date doing things for other people.
Right.
And so that was my experience.
Even to the degree of like, I would say, for an example of in everyday terms, we're talking about like you go in the store and buy everyone waters, and you go back to the car and no one wants their water. They want your water, and you give it to them, even though now you don't have a water and everyone has their water plus yours.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
And just kind of like,
yeah.
like, okay, this is just life. This is just life.
Yeah. And it's not that I was miserable my entire life or anything like that. I had a lot of joyful moments. I really loved raising kids, and I do really love children. I think about them differently now than I used to. But there was that underlying tone of, someday I'll get a turn. Someday I'll get a
Yeah.
turn. And then, I can make decisions with a different theme, behind them.
Yeah.
And
right.
that whole process of getting divorced and going through COVID, you talk about the isolation, right? And having to be by myself
And
more
you really were.
and getting to know myself more. It was really important and it was good. I also am a person who loves to be alone. I like
Me
people
too.
too, but being alone is also kind of my jam. And I spent a lot of time reflecting and writing and
Yeah.
learning.
And you have a solid core group
I
of
do.
friends too. Like
Yeah.
you have a little solid group. You have this little friend community that you've had. I remember
I have a
when
couple of them. Yeah.
when 2020 was happening and you guys had at one point like you were going to do a sober period together,
Mhm.
things like that. Like I know that during that time, that group at those groups of friends that you have were so instrumental in your resilience.
Oh yeah, we did Zoom meetings together. Like that was part of our way to get through it and
Yeah.
and support each other and still feel like we were connected. And as time went on and the regulations shifted and stuff and people felt more safe getting together outside, we would do things like that. And we there were times that we tried hard to be careful and be aware, but also be supportive with each other. And during that period, I was single and dating, and there were some really key relationships that I had.
I wouldn't
Some
call
of
it
them
dating,
very
dude.
temporary.
I would call it fostering.
Fostering.
I would call it fostering.
That did happen a few times.
You took men in, single men in, and fostered them and helped them to become adoptable.
Yeah.
You got them ready for their forever home.
I did a few times. And I think that it's just so different when you're older. And I know a lot of single women have said this, like, your priorities have shifted so much that you're just not willing to be the everything in someone else's life.
Right.
And
those are
for me, I had
boundaries.
those very specific things that I did not want that I talked about in that post. One of them being someone else's therapist. I was not going to do that. And it is harder than you realize to understand when that's the dynamic that's happening. It's harder to know.
Well, it's gratifying to feel like you can help someone on that level, or when you can see that your love and care helps to therapize someone.
Well, and I think that I kind of naturally default to something like that because I'm a compassionate person. And so I typically, sorry, I'm just feeling awful.
Have a drinky drink.
It's the Alfredo.
Yeah, no doubt.
One of my favorite foods. So I think that, what were we just saying? I lost it.
We were talking about when you're older.
Fostering the roles.
Yeah, and you had said when you're older, your perspective is different. I know a lot of women say that.
Right, about setting boundaries and what you won't be and all of that. And I was saying that I think I naturally kind of default to the therapist,
you're a compassionate person,
version of myself because I am compassionate and I try to approach every situation from understanding first and putting judgment in the back seat, right? So it's like their experience isn't my experience and it doesn't have to be. And so if a person says,
right, you know how that feels.
And if a person says, I had this experience with my last relationship and it was terrible for the following reasons, right? Then I want to be compassionate. I want them to know that I hear them. I want them to feel understood because as people walking around on the earth, there's nothing worse, right? Than feeling so alone and like you're misunderstood. So I think that it was easier said than done for me to recognize if that was happening. But
I need people to tell me. I'm not a good measure at that for myself.
Well, I started to recognize it because there's a few like key things, that you can start to pick up on. Like if somebody reaches out to you after you've clearly stopped seeing each other and they're saying things like, I just feel really bad about how things ended. And, I'm just wondering if we can talk about that and whatever. And so there's a couple ways that could go. But 9 times out of 10, what they want to do is unburden themselves.
Yes.
That's what they want to do.
It's not your job.
So when you start to think about that, you can actually start to kind of pick that out. It's
like that.
Oh, that wasn't about me.
Yeah.
That was about them
Now I
feeling
wanna-
better about them. It's like Mother's Day.
Yes.
It's like Mother's Day. So Mother's Day.
This is a good little.
I don't know if we've talked about this before. Maybe
I don't know if we have
but-
either. I was headed to ask you about the holidays as an engaged lady.
Yes.
But we are off on another tangent.
That's okay.
But
We'll
I
come
think
back.
we sort of covered it anyway.
I mean,
like, it was amazing.
Maybe it's the thing we never talk about. We always start to talk
And
about
then
it.
we go on
and
a
it
tangent.
goes,
We're
and it
tangential.
goes away.
We're tangential. We're tangential.
I think that makes us interesting.
Well, tell them about the theory. What are we going to name it? What are we need to name
I
this
don't know.
theory. Well, it's a theory that we have about holidays, but Mother's Day is
Mother's Day
really
is not
point
for
at.
mothers. That's
Mother's Day
kind
is
of
not
the
for
theory.
mothers.
Mother's Day is
Yeah.
not for mothers. It is a day for other people to get their mothers to validate how they feel about their mothers.
Right. The mother's
That's what it's
job,
about.
Right. The mother's job on Mother's Day, if it's a traditional type of Mother's Day in America, okay? This is what our experience is limited to. Growing up in the last 30 plus years as in America, right? In the Northern Hemisphere as young white women. That's the limit of our experience. However, our experience is that the mother's job on Mother's Day is to facilitate everyone else feeling good.
About
And we call
their
it
relationship with you.
Mother's Day.
Yes.
We call it Mother's Day. I have to eat food I don't really want to eat because you want to make it for me.
Right.
I have to spend time with people I maybe don't want to spend time with because you want to spend time with those people. Or like I have to smile and say thank you for things that I really don't want or need. And I'm annoyed that you spent time and money on.
But what it all comes back to, here's how we come back around.
Yes.
Give me a high five.
Yeah.
What it all comes back to is learning how to ask for what you want and that it's okay.
Here we are.
That it's okay
So-
to ask for what you want. And that is why I'm really excited to be engaged right now.
I love that. And this all ties into personal peace, which is what
It does.
seems to be the theme of for my education coming out of 2025, going into 2026. I've been really focused on talking about relationship development, but through a broad lens in terms of getting along with people at work or at home. And I think that boundary building and personal peace is going to be the focus of most of my education in 2026 because that's what's resonating with me.
Yeah.
But I like to think of boundaries. My friend Barb Cookson says boundaries are bridges. And I like to think about boundaries are for me, not for you, right? Some people will be like, oh, boundary. That's my boundary.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a cop out. That's like,
That's my truth.
right?
One of my least favorite
You're like,
things
we're having
on the planet.
Yeah, like it's a birthday party and everyone's invited, and you're like, oh no, I have a boundary against birthday.
You know what
parties
else
at
I hate?
work.
Here's a boundary.
Let's hear it.
Have a great rest of your day.
That's not a boundary. It's
That's
just
not
a
how we
dislike.
assemble words. We don't. Let's stop.
Just saying.
Stop.
Just saying.
Instead, how about we say, enjoy the rest of your day?
Have a great rest of your day. What about welcome in? Boy, that burns me. Welcome in. What? What did you say?
What are we saying?
Sorry, I'm an old woman.
What's happening?
Can you explain what you mean?
What's happening? Where are we? And how did we get here?
Welcome in. What? What did they used to say when you go in a store? Hello, right?
Yeah.
How are
Welcome
you?
to Rite Aid.
Right. Hi, welcome to Rite Aid. Yes. Yeah, because that's who it is. I'm at Walgreens and they're saying, welcome in.
Yeah.
What? I don't.
Would you like a receipt? No, thanks. Okay. Have a great rest of your day. No.
Ah.
No.
Do you know what
Nope.
I love? You've seen memes about those awkward moments, right? When
Yeah.
you say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Back.
I love those
moments.
So.
I was
so
having
too.
such a good exchange with a cashier one
Yeah.
time, and it was just like high five,
Yeah,
high
yeah.
five, like a solid,
Boop, boop, boop.
really nice volley, really
Yeah.
fun discussion. And I
Yeah.
was like, thanks so much, have a great day, and or like, thank you so much for your help. And they were like, you too. And I was in that moment, I was so glad I wasn't the one that blew it.
Did you at least be like, it's okay, it's totally fine. We're good.
I was already like out the door. I just kept going.
You were already having a great rest of your day.
I just kept going.
was so good.
Thanks for your help. You too.
So good. So
I
good.
love that.
So asking about what you want, and so the story for those who don't know from a high level is just that I went through these different relationships, and each one of them didn't feel right for one reason or another, and obviously came
The fostering
to an end.
we're talking about. Yeah.
The fostering, and some of them, I'm still good friends with some of the people that came along that that whole trip, and we just kind of learned about ourselves as individuals, and we still support each other, separately.
Yeah. Like friends.
Yeah, like friends. Like friends. Amazing. And when I came to this relationship, it was all very different because we were what would we call, like, medium distance, right?
Yeah.
Because it was a 2-hour drive in between us.
Distance. Yeah.
Distance, which I thought was a wonderful arrangement because I love my space, right?
Yeah.
Love my space. But I was also feeling this sense of stagnation where I was because I had never left the area. And so I always felt like I wanted to leave the area and I wanted to see what it was like living in a different spot.
And here was this great guy.
He was in the spot that I wanted to be in. And
he's so good looking and smart, talented.
Yeah, all the things.
Yeah.
All the things. So we pressed ahead, and I moved in with him and moved down there, and I turned out to be a little bit miserable, but not necessarily because of the relationship. I was miserable because I didn't have the social system where I was, and it was just really difficult to navigate. So I was working remotely.
The distance from your core group was intolerable.
The distance from the core group was intolerable. Yeah. I was having to travel back and forth often. And that was a little bit frustrating because it didn't feel as rewarding. And I really wasn't I wasn't successful in the ways that I had expected to be.
Yep.
And that was difficult for me. And then reflecting through that and trying to figure out what else I needed was really challenging, and being able to communicate with my partner, with John, about that was also really challenging. Neither one of us had come to that point with a partner before where we needed to kind of talk through that. And I think that I clumsily just kind of said, I need to go back home, and I don't want this to necessarily be the end, but I need to go back and see what's going to happen, because I just got this new job. I've got to, like, shift something here because I'm not happy. And the fact that he was able to say, okay, we'll see how this goes, and, have courage in that was really good, because now we're here and I feel like we've both had more opportunities to grow and learn and develop as humans. And I've seen so many spots in him where he has grown, and I've come to admire him in these different ways. He had a different job assignment too, and he, all of these things just kind of
admire him in different ways. Dude.
Yeah,
nice.
And so all of these things just kind of lined up after that shift, and it just reminded me that you can keep shifting, but you have to keep communicating,
right?
And
yes, because you were saying to me that you're so glad that you stopped making those assumptions.
That's right.
Because you had been saying to me, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
I don't know how this can all line up. I don't know.
How is this possible?
But we're just going to try it. We're going to see what happens. I don't want to give up. And we came through it, and I feel like we're even better,
stronger
than we ever were. And we're able to communicate in a more solid way. But also, I'm walking into this next phase of our relationship in a totally different manner than I was when we first came together, just because we've grown in this way. So it's very different than it is when, let's say going back in time, like to when I was 28 and married my ex. It was about the family unit.
Yes.
And that was what
predictable consistency,
our vision of future was about. Right. And my future with John is about us.
Yeah.
It's about what do we want to build? What do we want to do together? And that is exciting on a totally different level. And I'm just so glad that I said, this is what I need. Can we try this? And that he was like, yes, we can. You know,
Remarkable.
That was awesome.
That is remarkable.
I could have just kept assuming.
Yeah, or not tried or given up or kept it to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, or so many things might have seemed easier than that.
Yeah.
I talk about change with people a lot. Humans, we don't like to change. In recovery, I learned about, I learned some examples through recovery education that helped me understand it better. And the way that I talk about it is like a sink full of dishes. Okay. Everyone kind of handles that differently. But what's true about it is that we don't take an action until the action that we're going to take is easier than staying the same. So everyone might have a different level and a different answer. My sink might stay full of dishes for weeks, where yours never has a dish in it, right? Something like that. Or there's a maximum time of 20 minutes that a dish ever sits in your sink. I might buy new dishes and throw them all away.
Yeah.
Where you might just
the dishes are done, man.
Right. Dishes are done, man. I might burn the whole house down, right? Or you know, I'm saying there's different, right? There's a different level of reaction. Yes, there's all different types of reactions you can have. And our level of tolerance is all different on that timeline of how long do we wait until we decide to take action?
Right. Yes. So in my former life, I would have said, this is what I chose. And I am now in something that I've committed myself to. So therefore, I must continue.
Yeah, and there's some merit to that.
These are the boundaries. Yeah. This is where I live.
Right.
Instead of saying, actually,
I do.
Why can't I just ask for all the things that I want and maybe I just get them all?
Yeah.
Maybe what if it all works out, right? What if it all works out?
What if it does? What if I could... I think a lot of us are not even at a place where we can be honest with ourselves about what we really want. Sometimes it's hard to really even acknowledge to yourself that I need some space. I need alone time. I need to have less clothes on. I need to have a drink right now. I need whatever it is, right? Like if somebody would ask me, what is wrong with you? What is your problem? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I hungry? Am I embarrassed? Am I scared? I don't know. And it took me a long time to sort of just even build a glossary of terms that I could attach to things that were happening inside my body. And I needed a lot of teachers and examples. I think that we're all on that spectrum of self-awareness and understanding, but even just having a toolbox for it, right? Like you might have a toolbox that just doesn't have that set of tools in it. And that's no fault of your own. And sometimes we do accept a situation like, you know, you might have a child that has a lot of challenges and they scream and scream and scream anytime there is a change of any change, temperature change, clothes change, someone new comes in the door, the phone rings, you change the channel, any change, and they scream and shriek for minutes and minutes and minutes all day, every day. That's one of those situations that maybe you're like, whew, I've gotten myself into this. I'm committed to this and I'm going to stay in it. And these are my boundaries. And so I'm going to adapt.
Well, and it's like, being of service to other people means, well, I'm staying this and I'm committed to where I am, what I'm doing, to this job, to this other human I'm sharing a life with,
that family, that made sense.
I'm doing it because there is a greater purpose that is beyond me. And it's not about me.
Yeah.
Right. And now it's about me.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's good.
That I
that's
can
a good thing. Sometimes
recognize
we
it and ask for it and do that. And I just think that a lot of times people just won't.
Yeah.
And being able to say, like, what if I just ask for what I want? And, you know, the other half of that is, what if the other person doesn't want that? Or what if it's not good for them? Well, the news is, it's good news.
Good news.
Right? It's good news.
I have good news.
They get to decide.
Yeah. I have the best news for you.
We don't decide for them.
No.
They get to decide.
that's
Our
great
job is
news,
to just be
too.
honest.
Yeah, as best
Our,
we can.
our
Well,
job is to
and
be
I'm going to
honest.
attach kindness to that too. I just think we can do better. If we're being honest and unkind, we can do better.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Sometimes
compassionate
people
is
will
always
be
the
unkind, though,
underscore for me.
under the banner of honesty.
Yeah, and that's not the same thing.
That's ugly. It's backhanded. It's not real honest, right? And
No.
I'm guilty of that, and I think that's why I understand it about myself, is because I've been guilty of that. Well, I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah.
Actually,
I don't think so. You know what I've come to think of it as is it's performative.
it is performative, and it's like counteracting, like it's a counterattack.
Yeah.
Like look over there,
Yeah.
or you know,
Yeah.
that kind of a thing. Yeah, I'm running. I have pictures in my head, but I don't have
Yeah.
words to explain it.
Yep.
When you fire off these things that like make the missile. Yeah. Look over there. Look over there. It's not. Yeah. It's deflective and.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deflecting. I think that's what you mean.
Conflicts.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really magical to understand what you want and be at peace with it in a way that you're able to express it.
Yeah.
Well,
and to just see that it worked, right? So for us to have gone through that period of time where I said, right now, what we're in isn't exactly what I need. I think that it might be better if we do this over here. There's going to be sacrifices.
It's remarkable.
You know, will you come along with me?
She didn't just say, let's do this over here. She said, I'm moving out.
Right. I said, I want to move back.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that he wasn't invited in my life. It was that I need to do this. Will you go with me and see how it is? Knowing that you also need to be over here.
Yeah. I'm wicked proud of you guys.
And he agreed to that, which was great. But also, we found all of these new things just kind of came open for us in that period of time. So, you know, Mom would say that's validating, right? That's validating that you made the right decision. And, you know, 100%. There continues to be a lot of opportunities for us kind of unfolding that work with the situation that we're in. So even though it's untraditional and even though it's a little wonky for some people to kind of picture, this is working for us right now. And we won't live apart forever.
Yeah.
You know, we have plans to be together again. It was just what I needed in that moment to be able to feel like myself again.
Yeah,
I needed
that stage
to have
of the relationship,
a job where I
in
lived.
Your life. Yes, yeah.
And that was really the biggest part was the job where I lived. Well, but even beyond the core group, because I still see my core group about the same amount.
Do you?
Yeah. But it's the availability of me feeling like I can continue to see people that I'm offering value to and feel like I'm remaining balanced.
It's hard to have a sense of that when you're working so far disconnected from
your
job.
It is. And so it's kind of like, I feel like for me, I have to have one or the other. Like I either have to work where I live or I have to have the entire social group where I live and I could possibly work, you know, in a different situation.
And that rings true for like Maslow's pyramid, right? That do you know what I mean? Like the hierarchical.
I mean, I know what you're talking about, the hierarchy of needs, but I don't know how it suits that.
In that we have that humans have a basic sense of or a need or a desire for that sense of belonging and value that comes from home and work and social.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like I just need the right mix of those things, you know. And I still wish that we had, you know, every weekend together and all of that. But the truth is, we just drive a bit.
Yeah, and it's going well.
Still
and you're still in
spend
school
a lot of
and
time
stuff.
together.
You're still got school going on too, and that's almost done. And you'll be a graduate.
This close.
And then you'll have a little bit more time. All this talk about family made me think about that. I wanted to ask you about Alaskan Bush people. Where are you at with that?
Oh, yes.
What season are you in?
Gosh, I don't know.
Do you know?
I don't know.
What's
the
happening?
last time I turned it on, it just played.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And it was so Billy had already gone to the hospital once, and then I think he went back. The barn was raised.
They're in Washington then.
They're in Washington for sure.
The barn is
yeah. Barn was raised. Yeah. The baby was born.
Wasn't that barn remarkable?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah.
I was so impressed.
Yeah.
And like Noah has put together some really amazing contraptions. And then when Matt built that mill, did you miss Matt? Did you notice Matt's gone? Do you miss him?
He's gone? What do you mean
He's
gone?
been gone for ages. If you turn it back on and watch again, there's no Matt.
What?
Yeah. So Jason and I are watching. We're a little ahead of you.
Yeah.
And the one baby was born, and then there's more
Yeah,
coming. And we're both like, God, Matt's missing all this. And then Jason Googled it. So
Yeah.
the last time that we saw Matt, he was saying again that he was struggling with his drinking.
Oh.
And he was going to take some time away.
Yeah.
And Jason Googled it and saw that he had like some sexual misconduct charges or something like that. And that it was deeper. And then that the family disowned him.
Oh, no.
And that broke my
heart.
gosh.
Right?
Because they're so, like, they were so family oriented. They were taught like a cult.
Had no one.
Right. They were taught like a cult. Like, this is your group. No one else can be your group. No one can replace this group. And that there was allegations against Billy that he took Matt's money from the show, like $300,000 that Matt should have gotten and stuff like that. They made ridiculous money per episode.
That is the saddest thing.
Isn't that so sad?
That actually leads me to another thing.
And when
that
the boys got married and they had babies and Matt wasn't there. And not only that, imagine if he's watching it now. My heart, it just breaks for him.
Poor Matt. That's awful. I was actually just talking about something like this with John the other day. So I listened to this podcast, and I like this person for a number of reasons. His name is John Deloney, and he's a double PhD therapist who has a strong tie to Christianity and religion.
Okay.
And also just overall, you know, compassion for people and all of that. And I don't necessarily agree in all of the different fundamentals that he, you know, talks about. Like he's like very strict in certain ways about like what deems you to have a good moral character.
It's probably that religious part. Yeah.
And so, I mean, in my mind it is.
It's a little more narrow.
In my mind it is. But he also will hear out anyone who calls. And you know what I mean? And like,
which should also be a trait of religious people.
Right. And try to, you know, help them to find out, and what he calls it is the next right move, right? Like you always said to me, the next right thing. That's all you have to focus on.
That's also AA speak, by the way.
And I know I've learned a lot through AA from you and Dax Shepard.
Because it's good for everyone. Yeah. I love Dax. Yeah. Shout out to Arm Cherries.
Yeah. So, so this person does a podcast, and it's like a daily show or something, where people call in, like the Fraser Crane show.
Ooh,
kind of thing.
That's brave.
And sometimes he has other people on, and recently he had a caller who called to say, you know, I'm struggling because I'm a part of this friend group, and two of the people in this friend group cheated on their marriages with each other, and I'm having a really difficult time. And
they know about it, like
right, you know, all the group knows.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, and it gets deeper than that, because also I'm on, you know, the council board for the planning committee together.
Oh dear.
And we're, you know, like all of these things,
then
right?
He's like morals and ethics and values.
So this is how he's calling.
Oh dear.
So he's calling to say that he feels all these things. And the therapist says, basically advises him that he has to cut all ties with his friend, and that he can't be in this friend group anymore. You know, the friend group is gone. The friend group has been blown up, but you know, you can't be friends with this person anymore. And I had such a hard time with that. I struggled, because my mind is that regardless of what another person does, it's going to be really hard for me to say that they deserve to be shunned from a community, because I feel like that's the very like thing that you are trying
that can be a traditional sort of religious perspective to it.
Well, I think it's a perspective that a lot of people hold, though, there's a line. Everyone has a line.
Right, and hold your boundaries.
And
right?
They will
and
say, like, your character is not what I will allow myself to associate with, because I'm judged by the company I keep. Right? And so we all have whatever that line is. So it just made me think about that. And you had said one of the topics you were talking about was unwritten, you know, rules about friends and relationships. So poor Matt. Right?
Matt.
So that's how I feel about that, is that I'm applying that in that way. And what I would never want is for someone who I love and care about to walk around with such a heavy burden, to feel like they couldn't talk about something they've done or a decision they've made
Yes.
because the worst will happen, which is I become the most isolated human on the planet because everyone I know who loves me will not love me anymore.
Right.
That is so heartbreaking for me to even think about.
I mean, because we all have a sneaking fear back here that there's a,
that's how societies
could be
work,
a chance
right?
That might be true, right?
That's
Someone's
where
going
the
to find out.
repercussion is. It's the shunning,
and
right?
It's so harmful. But at the same time, like, we do teach of like each other, right? Like, if this thing, this external force in your life continues to harm you and you are participating in that and you're mad at them for harming you, you need to see that you have an ownership there because you're participating in it, right? And so shield or boundary or change your level of participation or something, right? We teach each other that.
I mean, but I think that's a different thing.
It
like
is
if it's
different,
harming
but that's
you.
why I want to bring it up too. But we're talking about an individual. We're not talking about advising someone to cut an individual off from society, because what science tells us is that it is an absolute necessity. Community is imperative to life. Absolutely necessity. So it's cruel and unusual punishment.
And there's even theories around addiction and how much that concept in and of itself has to do with someone's successful recovery.
Yes.
And
it's critical. It's
or the depths of addiction.
The quality of your recovery will absolutely be exactly proportional to the depth and richness of your community.
Yeah.
Right. So if all you have are superficial ties in your community, you will have superficial recovery. But if you have ties in your community through service work, that's the key, then your recovery will be sustainable and long lasting. That is the actual key to sustainable recovery, is community. Nothing else.
And so
works.
The same thing applies in all these different ways. So what makes you feel like you want to stay where you live?
Yep.
It's that community. It's having the connection. It's me being able to go to work every day and see the people that I'm working with, and having that connection, that one-to-one. And it's lined through all of the things that we do. And I just feel like it's especially cruel to say, I will no longer care for you because you've made a decision in your life that I would not make in my own.
So I feel like now, especially, and I hear myself saying that and thinking about all the times that we say things like that now, especially now. So
can we say especially?
Like that espresso? Is what I struggle with on Alaskan Bush people, is that they all say especially, and they say
they have their own kind of dialect too.
They say sundan. This is just sundan that I'm working on.
Really?
Sundan.
I hadn't noticed
and
that.
For the E in the word every comes out like an O. Everything. You'll have to listen for it.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Oh, and they say, no, simular. Every single one of them says simular. It's so interesting. Anyways, we were talking about this like unwritten rule of friendship thing, and just now we've been talking about making the decision to like cut someone off, and the difference between thinking someone should be cut off from society or from their community, and the difference between saying to a friend who has maybe they literally keep stealing money out of your purse, and you see them do it, they take it, and you say, hey, can you stop stealing from me, please? And they're like, oh, sorry.
Well, it's an action against you.
Right. I mean, that's a bold example that's easy to point at, right? It might be some other thing. They're not stealing money out of your wallet, but it's some other thing or a perceived thing. And you choose to change your level of participation. I'm not going to leave the pocketbook out anymore. The pocketbook doesn't even come out when that person is here, or they're not invited to my home anymore. Or maybe we're not friends anymore, or whatever makes sense. But that feels different, right? Than saying...
Well, it is different. Yeah. It's different to make that decision because an action was taken against you than it is to say, I'm judging you for a thing that I would not do myself.
Yeah.
That's not the same.
It's not the same. Poor Matt.
Poor Matt.
It just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
I don't care what he did. It just breaks my heart.
Well, it's his family.
Yeah, and we have some family members who have done some things
Absolutely.
that are easy to point at.
Yep.
And I have done
even
things.
I mean, I've had things done to me.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
still, that does not mean that I do not love
Yeah.
my family.
No.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's intense.
It is intense.
Poor Matt.
Poor Matt. Breaks my heart. Anyways, we got to the part where Billy passes away.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, and I don't even want to watch it
But
anymore.
I knew because you told me that was going to happen.
Well, it was
so I knew
common.
that it was going to happen.
Common.
Yeah, it's
and
all out there.
when they start that season, they actually started out by saying like X amount of time until Billy's death, and it goes on like that, which I find it fascinating as a home health and hospice nurse. I find it really fascinating to watch this video, knowing this person is approaching death because of their health, and what you can see change, the indicators. You can kind of see how their life is changing. But I wonder if Billy could have known what the timeline was, but then they did find a book that he started writing some stuff down.
Really?
Yeah.
Aww,
yeah.
neat.
Little things like that. But I just find that really fascinating, timelines and death and dying and how the family culture changes and stuff like that. I'm a bit of a nerd.
I used to volunteer with a hospice nurse. I think her name was Leah, actually, because I believe that we had that in common and used to joke around about it. But her whole career was in that line of work, and she used to talk about all the different remarkable things that she'd observed or
really
gotten to be a part of. And for her perspective, it was this is a privilege, this is an honor and a privilege to be a part of this person's life, these families' lives, and all of that. And so she would have had some very interesting perspectives for you to share.
I find it addicting. It's these moments that you get to be with people are some of the biggest and most important moments of their life.
Yeah.
Whether you're doing home health or hospice, because when a nurse comes to your home, it means you're not well enough to leave home.
Right.
And that is not a good thing, right? Whether you just had a planned surgery or something awful happened. And you get to be in their home. Right, we're perfect strangers.
Yes, you talked about that before. You know how intimate that is.
It's so amazing, and it's incredibly intimate to be in their space in that way during such an important time, and to be aware that there's a power dynamic, right? And to use that with a sense of ethics.
Yeah.
Right. Like I could go in someone's house and ask them to take their pants off, and they probably would if it seemed like a reasonable request, right? And we're perfect strangers.
Yeah, and how that that setting, because of that, has almost gives you more authority in their life.
Yeah, it's vulnerable. It's really vulnerable. So, anyways, I don't take that lightly at all. I find it an amazing opportunity to also like. I'll ask them my 3 questions or ask them what they wish people ask them about.
Yeah.
Like, what do you wish people wanted to hear from you? Because I want to hear it. Right. And hear amazing things and meet amazing people, see the coolest houses and and some really heartbreaking stuff too.
Yeah. Well, how was your Christmas?
Good. You're always telling me to rest. I laid around a lot.
I'm so proud of you.
I know, but I felt like a jerk. I felt like I really struggle when I'm just laying around and not doing a thing while I'm laying around.
Because you are feeling guilty for not being productive with your time?
Yeah, something like that. Or the voice is more like, you jerk. Look at you.
So I went, indulgence.
Yeah.
So I went through this program that a friend of mine was doing for a little bit. It was a self-improvement type of program. And it had a certain model of, I don't know what it was called, but there was a certain model of reflection to go through with a group. And the idea was to get to the core of whatever the thing is that's driving you. And so that was actually my thing that I brought to the group, was that if I have downtime and I'm not doing something, I feel terrible.
Mhm.
I feel awful and I can't get out of it, but it's the worst feeling in the world and I would avoid it at all costs.
Yeah.
And so this is why I say these things to you, right?
Yes. I'm like, yes.
And
Tell
what
me more. Yes.
we uncovered as a group
Yes. Yeah. I
was
love
that
group therapy.
for me, it goes all the way back to being a kid and being valued for accomplishments, achievements,
Oh,
being
and you were one of the
being
middles.
good
Yeah.
at school,
Yeah.
being good at whatever, right? Having something that I could feel like I was good at,
Yeah.
or
stand
that
out.
someone would say good job for. Something
Mm.
like that.
Mm.
And that it really had to do with effort, energy, like studying and reading and
Interesting.
reading and and doing all the things that you're supposed to do and following the rules and
But still not getting those indicators that you were expecting of like, this is good. I am good
well, no, I think that
as
it's
a kid.
because I did get those.
Oh,
That
oh,
was the
oh.
rewarding.
Oh,
Yeah, the behavior, the reward,
I
the behavior, the
see,
reward.
I
So,
see.
I was getting the atta girls from my teachers and I was getting the good grades and I was getting the honor roll and I was getting the
And
different things
so
like that. And
that
so
equals lovable.
that
Productivity equals lovable.
became the value, right?
Oh.
And then if you mix that in with the underlying current that we also had as kids, which was, if you're out of my hair, I love you more.
Yes.
Right? Like that was the
Yes.
message.
Yeah.
That's what I always said I learned from the giving tree, right? Was that if I don't bother you,
Giving tree.
that's loving.
Mm.
Like, because otherwise
Mhm.
I'm making this person dissolve themselves into
Right.
nothing,
You're
right?
telling
Like,
me how I've made you
it's-
sacrifice everything in your
it's
life.
more
and-
kind for me to take care of myself.
Right.
So
And burden you.
those things mean that, you can't ask anyone else for help and you must always be doing. Right?
I'm
so
okay.
therein lies the issue with never resting, right? Is that it's actually not inherently bad. It's actually good for you. And women have more heart attacks than they even know.
Yes.
And
that's true.
I think that a lot of that comes from the inability to relax, the inability
Or
to
say how we feel.
to just be calm and just be able to
or listen to your body.
reflect.
Listen to your body, right? The most common, women mostly complain when they're having a heart attack, that they just can't catch their breath, or that there is a tightness. They don't say anything about pain. They usually say they just feel so tired and they can't catch their breath, or that maybe there is some tightness, but almost never talk about pain. Isn't that interesting?
It is.
Mm-hmm. And I know I've been talking about it for the last year or so, trying to rebuild my connection with my body, because I just ignore it because I like that. But
because you like ignoring
I like
it?
to ignore it. Yeah. Because it's a pain, right? I have to slow down to do this. I have to slow down to that. Eating is so much work. You have to clean, you have to shop, you have to clean, you have to cook, you have to clean. Oh,
I'd rather not take care of myself.
Can
and
I just
not
take
eat.
a pill? Can I just take all my nutrients? Do I have to eat? I don't have to pee. What do you need? I don't need anything. What do you need?
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm so good. What can I get for you? And I don't know where I was going with this. Resting and talking about resting. I think that my hang-ups are different than yours. I think that it comes from a fear of financial insecurity. It's just like, see, you're a loser. I told you this was never going to work. That.
Yeah,
It's
I
fine.
think, and it's
Which
it's
is
probably
why it works
different
so
for
hard
me
to
because
be employable.
Right. And well, I mean, and for me, it's just like I have never been super successful making money outside of traditional employment.
Yeah.
And so when I'm not working, when I'm literally not at work, I'm not making any more money anyway.
Right.
So, so that's
It's
a
not
little
a thing on
different
the
for me.
radar.
But the
Yeah.
productivity
Yeah.
is a real thing.
Yes.
That's, feeling like I didn't, wash the floor or whatever,
Or even if the floor isn't a thing that normally is on your routine, it comes into your head that day as something you can
I
point
could
at
have done
as
this.
evidence of your lack of
Look at all the things I
everything.
didn't do.
Yeah. I'm such a jerk.
Yeah. I know. It's terrible.
So
It's
I got a lot
terrible.
of rest.
Yeah.
And I battled that part of myself, and I forced myself into submission, for better or worse. I had a very productive day today. I had a bunch of meetings and planning and stuff because I have a bunch of stuff coming up. In the first quarter, I have a few things coming I'm excited about. Day Camp for Weirdos is coming right up in February.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So this is going to be 3 Saturdays, and it's kind of a big commitment because it's 10 to 4 on your Saturday. But we're talking about Saturdays in February. What are you doing in February on Saturday? Nothing. You're just
it's tourney time, isn't
you're
it?
annoyed. Yes. You're annoyed that the kids are out of school. You're annoyed it's so damn cold. February's the worst. And it's Valentine's Day. So we're doing this over the 3 first Saturdays, the 7th, the 14th, and the 21st. I'm inviting a group of people to join me at this gorgeous condo in downtown Bangor where we're going to spend the day. And we have some arts and crafts planned and some yummy food and service project that will be for the animal shelter in Bangor. And so there will be education, and the education is focused on having a peaceful and powerful voice.
Nice.
And building your own personal peace. And Ann Covey and Barb Cookson are coming to help with the education.
Love it.
So that'll be fun. And then I'm getting ready to do a thing with Bangor Housing around Valentine's Day.
Oh, great.
For the aging population in Bangor. We're going to talk about taking ownership of your own happiness. But we're going to call it Finding Sunshine in the Rainy Days.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I've got a big retreat coming up in May in Eastport, but that's already sold out. So if that was something,
congratulations,
right? If you got excited when I said that, send me a message so that I can put you on the waiting list, because there is one in October that I haven't even opened yet for sale. So there's one coming up in October, and there's a very special Halloween retreat coming up in Ellsworth.
Oh, Hallows Eve.
Yes, it's called Shadows and Spice and Everything Nice.
Oh, I like it.
And it's very romance novel.
Okay.
Themed.
Yeah.
With a focus in education around the things that keep us from loving ourselves, what prevents us from self-acceptance.
Right on.
But it's going to be fun.
It sounds
and
fun.
Spicy. So that's exciting. So yeah, today was productive. I got all kinds of stuff. I've hired a woman who's an illustrator to design a logo for me.
That's exciting.
And I even hired her to design a logo for my pen name.
Ooh.
Which I'm not going to tell you.
Okay,
about.
don't tell me.
I'll tell you off the air. Off the air.
That's very exciting. I'm glad that you're doing so much writing.
I am doing so much writing. And that honestly has shifted. One of the things shifted in the end of 2025. I started playing with this pen name. And oh my gosh, dude. Things are just pour out of my hands.
Oh, nice.
And I type like 108 words a minute. So I can type almost as fast as I can think.
Yeah.
And
it's frustrating to write when you can type faster. Yeah.
It's a joy when it just pours out of your hands like that. Yeah. So that's been fun. I have not put any time really into my 2 books that I'm writing right now for the last quarter.
Fair enough.
So maybe I'll set some new goals around that.
Maybe, or
we'll see.
Maybe not.
Because I'm booking up a new branding session with Kristen McKay in 2026.
That's exciting.
So if I had a book almost ready to sell, that could be something good for the branding.
Sure.
We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, your retreats are also really good for the branding. There's a lot of different ways to,
It's exciting. I might need your help thinking about branding, because you're supposed to, because I'm the brand.
Yep.
And so that's hard to... Because your branding package, your branding photos and stuff, right, should say about who you are and what you do. Like if you watch or you look at their branding photos, like they have a prop or something that tells about their job. So I might need your help being creative and thinking about how I want that to be.
Okay.
And we should totally.
She's so excited. We should.
You can do an add-on set during your branding session, and we could do a sister's photo shoot. Like we've never had a photo shoot.
Like Full House.
Yes. Yes.
Like we could wear overalls.
Yeah. Or matching turtlenecks.
That we both
Yes. With that fluorescent zippy windbreaker.
And headbands.
Oh. I love that. Yeah, we should do a sister shoot with 2 outfits. We'll
Two
see if we
outfits,
can add that. I don't think I finished my negotiation for the branding contract yet. I'll have to add that to it. Oh, and that Kristen McKay is going to be maybe involved in the Halloween.
Fancy.
Yes, the Halloween retreat.
That's exciting
It's
too.
really exciting. Yeah, if you stayed in this recording this long, then I guess you get to know that
Sure.
Kristen McKay is involved.
Yeah.
In the Halloween one. I'm excited.
That is exciting.
Is there anything else we should be talking about before we go?
Anything else?
I'm sitting down with JC tomorrow. Jace, I'm going to record with.
Right on. That'll be dog training.
Mm-hmm.
Dog training things.
Can you think of anything I should ask him on camera?
Oh gosh, yeah. What do I do with my old dog? When can I? When can I set her off to sea comfortably in a Viking arrangement?
Put her out to pasture.
I'm kidding. She's healthy. She's fine.
She's very healthy. Girl. Well, you can put that in your head if you think of something or a joke that I can tell him.
Okay.
Because I like to surprise him with something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he never knows when I'm talking, when we're rolling.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. See if you can think of a joke I can tell him.
All right.
Dude, I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.